Listen, dating someone who's been single for a long time isn't hard because she's complicated. It's hard because she already learned how to be at peace alone. She figured things out without depending on anyone, and she stopped accepting just anything. She'd rather be alone than settle. So when someone like that opens the door for you, you're not walking in to complete her life. You're walking in to prove that your presence is worth more than the peace she already built by herself.
Women are constantly being coddled as victims in this society. And yes, we can also be victims in this society, but it gets to a point. It gets to a point where women date guys, right? And then they say, I keep finding the same man. Because oftentimes we overlook red flags. Oftentimes we keep trying.
A provider man, and they want a masculine guy when it's convenient for them.
And most of you men, you guys have to learn something. If you ain't sleeping or dating or messing with a woman, don't even look at her stories. Don't even like her photos. The second I see provocative photos that a girl is posting, unfollow, because I don't need that. I'm not thirsty and I don't give out free validation. My attention is very scarce. And if you want it, we either have to be dating or it has to be happening. And you beta males need to have that same mindset. And all these women wouldn't have inflated egos because all you guys message them 24/7 on Instagram and comment that you would drink their bathwater and all this other shit that I just, oh my God, I don't f***ing get it.
And you know, once again, nobody really wants to say it, or modern women maybe not say it, but modern women don't really want to believe it. But your choices have consequences. Men are not obligated to rescue you from your terrible choices. Period.
One thing that men don't do in this society anymore is pick you up at the door. Like, where is that? Where is the chivalry? Where is the being nice, picking you up at the door, picking you up from work, and like getting you flowers? And babe, I saw this today and I thought about you. Like, where is that? Where y'all at? Because I don't know if it's the men that are not doing it because they'll be like, oh, you just doing too much. But my thing is like, your father was doing it. So what is the problem? Now, this is the reason why we want to date your dad. Because he'll bring me flowers at my door. Jeez.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Guys want to have a traditional wife and they don't want to be a traditional dude. I got no problem if you're the husband and you're traditional and you want to go out and you make the money and you want your wife to stay home and she wants to stay home and she wants to be the traditional wife, being the center of the family. Hugely important role. However, if the idea instead, you want to have a traditional wife who also works with you, gets up just as early, but she's got to clean the kitchen, she's got to take care of the kids, she's got to keep everything in line, plus the 9 to 5, no way. And that's where I think stuff's getting kind of sideways. It's like, I'm the man, I'm in charge. Okay, then go make the money, go be in charge, go be the provider. But you don't get to have both. And I think the beautiful part about a relationship is you guys get to decide whatever you want in your relationship. But I don't think that you get to say, just because I have a wiener, that I'm in charge of everything and I'm the provider and the protector and go take care of the house and do everything else, even if you have a job.
You know, just the nagging, complaining, and entitlement just wears a man out. Just wears him out, man. Like, what the heck are we even talking about anymore? Leave me alone. Get the heck out of my face. I'm not approaching you. Get a life.
So I'm at IKEA and I said to my husband, James, take photos of everything that you like. And so he just took a bunch of photos of me. So this is the thing. I used to date guys and they always make me feel like I was overweight or need to dress better because they're rich and they want me to dress nicer. But my husband, he doesn't care about that. I said, I want to get Botox. And he's like, no, you look fine. And so you need to find somebody that adores you and loves you and accepts you and does not make you feel like you're less than. This is the most important thing. They accept you and they celebrate you. Even if I gained 100 pounds and lost a leg, my husband would still be married to me A lot of the guys I dated in the past, that would never ever happen. They would dump me once I gained weight.
Gentlemen, I just want to say to you first and foremost that your masculinity is not toxic, it's glorious. It's beautiful. And the way that God has made you as men, it's so lovely. And the strength that you have, the linear way that you think, that you patrol the garden, that you encompass it, that your heart is for blessing, that you're tender and strong at the same way, that's a glorious thing. And we need your masculinity. We need the gift of it. And it is a beautiful thing. And for us as ladies, the way our feminine genius, where we receive another, that life is born within us, that we receive another, that we bring forth life, that we nurture life, that men are, more exterior, that women are more interior, and it comes together in the union of the two so that a new person is born. The way that we attend to people, the way that we are attentive, the way that we are loving, the way that we are kind, the way that we are intuitive, that is a very beautiful thing. And I think, it's because there's been so much brokenness in society. There's a common saying right now, like the future is female, right? The future is not female. The future is masculinity and femininity healed and restored unto the glory of God. That's the future.
Pay attention to how people act when no one is watching. Those who treat others well in silence aren't doing it for applause. They do it because integrity is part of who they are.
A lot of these modern women don't really want a partner. They want a man's validation. They want his attention. They want his money. They want his lifestyle. But they don't really bring anything to the table. Why in the world would a man think that's a good deal? Why would a man sign up for that? Absolutely not.
Unpopular opinion. A lot of women say that they don't believe in 50-50 until it's time for the divorce. Now suddenly you believe you should split everything in half, but you haven't been going half on anything. He's been putting 100% of the monetary value into the relationship, but when it's time to split things, you want half. But my question is, half of what? Because you didn't put anything in, but you want half the house, you want half the money, you want half the business, but you didn't put half of the value into those things. So why should you get half? If we're talking about the energy and effort that you put in and the time, y'all both put that stuff in. So I get it that you're irritated with that, but he put that in too. But when we're talking about a man who pays 100% of the bills, why do you feel like you should get half of anything in a divorce? When it's time to build with him, you like, babe, you got it. You got it. You gonna figure it out. You got it. See, the conversation ain't really about 50-50. It's about accountability, because you can't skip the grind and then expect the reward.
I need all the people who thought that they were never going to get married and were never going to find their person to leave me some encouragement in the comments, because, sorry, dog hair. I am exhausted. I'm so tired of dating. I have dated wonderful men, and for some reason or another, it didn't work out, whether that was my decision or theirs. And I just genuinely can't imagine finding someone that I like and love and feels the same way about me, and we beat the odds and get to the freaking chapel. Like, I've been so close so many times, and it hasn't worked out. And I'm just tired. I'm so tired. And I don't want to have to date someone again and get to that point and have it not work out, because I think I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. And I'm usually a super hopeful and happy person. And I am happy. But in the dating realm, I'm exhausted.
Modern women, it's crazy because they say that, well, I want to be left alone. I don't want men talking to me. And when men leave you alone, then you get upset. Men heard you. They stopped approaching you. They stopped messing with you and quote unquote harassing you, as you say. And now you're confused as to why the request that you made was honored. This is what you asked.
Also, I wanted to point out that man is also playing a video game, and he might be super engulfed in that. He may see your gesture as a slight interruption. Maybe it's best if you do it after his round, or when he has a second, especially if it's an online game where he can't pause it. I know some people don't play games and they don't quite understand, but there are games where you have to keep going. Sometimes you're on a team with other people. You don't want to let that team down. Maybe in that moment he's kind of stressed because he's trying to focus on the game itself. He also doesn't want to ignore or not acknowledge you either. So do keep that in mind. That might also be a part of it.
Do not make a man your whole world, and do not make marriage your entire identity. As a divorce lawyer, I've seen what happens when women build their entire sense of worth around one person and one title. Somewhere along the way, women were sold this idea that the ultimate success was becoming someone's wife. That once you had the ring, the ceremony, the shared last name, you could finally exhale. But here's what no one tells you. Marriage is not a personality. It's a partnership. And if it becomes the only thing that defines you, it will be the first thing that destroys you when it shifts. Because when you make him your everything, you lose the parts of yourself that were never meant to be given away. Your dreams shrink to fit inside his schedule. Your goals take a backseat to his career. Your voice gets quieter so he can feel heard. And when the relationship cracks, you're not just grieving him, you're grieving the version of you that disappeared in the process. I've had women sit in my office, not devastated over the end of a marriage, but completely unsure of who they are without it. They stopped cultivating their own life, their own friendships, their own financial power. They outsourced their identity to a role they thought would last forever. Love can be beautiful and marriage can be meaningful, but it should add to your life and not erase it. So keep your friends, keep your hobbies, keep your financial independence, keep your ambition, keep your fire, because no matter how much you love someone, you still need a world that belongs entirely to you. You are not just a partner, you are a person, and the best relationships are the ones where you get to be both.
You know, a lot of men, once again, they're not scared of feedback. They're not scared of hard work. They're not scared of changing. It's just that a lot of times modern women in society in general, they try to disrespect a man. They try to really take honesty from honesty and truth. They try to take the only thing that a man really has left, and that's his integrity and his dignity. They try to take, oh, that don't mean nothing. Get that crap out of here.
The guy, like, you're trying to pursue me, right? But I'm just like, no, oh no. And then you keep trying. The woman likes it because she feels like she's wanted. She feels special. So let's say I'm the woman and you're the guy that there's two guys approaching me. Okay. So you're the handsome one. There's another one that's not as attractive. So for the one that I'm attracted to, I want you to pursue me, and I may say no a couple times.
What I'm realizing is that women are a special kind of stupid. Now, I'm told that they're educated,
but I still want you to keep trying.
Why? I'm just like, why?
But then there's another guy who's not that attractive who's pursuing me. I'm like, no, seriously, stop. Like, I don't like it. And he keeps trying.
Yes, but if you listen to how she says stop. I understand, but if you listen to how she says stop. So why should I stop when you say stop, but you did?
Because she didn't say stop how I'm saying stop.
Stop, right?
I'm saying
okay,
stop.
Then. No, don't tell me stop.
Shit.
No, don't tell me.
That guy's not going to get anywhere. But if you keep trying, eventually I'll give in.
Did you know that 25% of women in the United States are getting treated for a mental illness? That means 75% of them are running around untreated.
It's over for you thoughts. It's over. It ain't that time. It's over for y'all. The other thoughts made it bad for you.
It is the women that loved us the most, the women that treated us the best, the women that cared the most for us. Those are the women that we give the most to, traumatize the most, and mistreat the most in these relationships. And what usually ends up happening is this. Those women loved us so much and cared about us so much, they have a special place in our heart. And it is not until they get ready to leave, go, break up with us that we want to get out together and start doing the right things. However, we've traumatized them and mistreated them so bad that by the time we get to that point that we want to do right and we want them, they through with us. They don't know how to love us. They don't know who we are. They don't know if we're this man that has mistreated them for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or if we are really this guy that showed up now as a knight in shining armor and really wants to do right. They're confused here. They don't know if he's this guy or if he's this guy. So I'm saying to you all, it's a thin line between love and hate. These women really do love us. However, they get tired. So don't wait until she's tired to get your together.
How men are treated in a lot of these systems has fundamentally altered the way they approach things and they go about things. You wonder why men are checking out of society and why men are not buying into a lot of this nonsense. It's because modern women in the system really honestly and truly continue to screw them over and over again. And y'all not hearing them when they say, hey, I don't think that this is fair.
How many chances do you give someone who's continuously failed to show up before accident?
For the same thing or period?
Let's say both.
If it's for the same thing, you probably have about 5. First time, I'm going to observe. Second time, I'm going to correct you. Third time, is there growth? If there's no growth, I'm done. If there's a little bit of growth, but you're still doing it, okay. Fourth time, still growth? Okay, you can hang. But if there's just starts to just default back, no, you're not for me. Now, if it's a new problem every time, but they're not doing the past problem, that's human. We all make mistakes.
So we have to adjust.
But a lot of men like to move on without no emotional attachment to a woman. Letter to my ex, my thing. Can you describe an emotional relationship? Make her tea so pretty. Thank you. Are you a life coach? Something like that. A lot of men like to just hurry up and move on into something else so they don't have to feel the void of you. But some men like to feel like they like to be with women who don't really know them, if that makes sense. Once you get a man so figured out, you know his financial situation, you know who he is emotionally, mentally, physically, and you see him for who he truly is, and you start calling him out on his a lot of men are starting with you and drop you like a bad habit, like they never knew you, because a lot of men do not like to deal with people who really know them, because when you really know them, you know what to expect from them. They like to deal with new people because she don't know him. She don't give a if he outside without in the rain with Crocs on because his feet getting wet. She don't give a if he ate today. She don't give a she don't know him enough to give a A lot of men like women who do not know them. And when men feel like, okay, they just hurry up and hopped and moved on to the next girl and got into the next relationship, they do that on purpose to, 1, make you uncomfortable, and to 2, make you feel like they never cared about you. And don't give it to them. Seem happy. Seem like you don't give a fuck. They do that on purpose.
And another thing that modern women try to do, and this is why some of their lists are so long, is they want to make a man feel obligated to fix a lot of the nonsense that they created, that they got into before they got into a relationship with that man. And that's not really even his responsibility. That's your responsibility. Y'all say y'all done the healing work, so I should see the fruit of that. I should see the profit from that. But you know,
your husband is the only person in your life who loved you purely by choice. Your parents love you because you belong to them. Your siblings love you because you share the same blood running through your veins. Your children love you because you are the one who brought them into this world. But your husband is different. He was never assigned to you. He was never born into any obligation toward you. No bond of blood tied him to your side. He selected you out of every woman he could have chosen to build a life alongside. He chose your name, your personality, your imperfections, and your future. He made the decision to provide for you, to shield and protect you, to open up his space, his time, and his entire life to you. That kind of choice carries tremendous weight and should never be taken lightly. Do not treat it as something that is simply guaranteed to last on its own. Do not make him feel like he could easily be replaced by someone else. Never forget that the man who chose you also needs to continuously feel chosen in return. Because love within a marriage does not run on autopilot. It is constantly renewed and carefully maintained through respect, genuine attention, and heartfelt appreciation. Through the tone of your voice when frustration rises up inside you. Through the warmth of your response when he reaches out for connection.
This is the root of your unhappiness.
Unhappiness is when your expectations of how life is meant to be going go unmet. And this explains why a kid in Africa who gets rice, I was born in Africa, I was born in Botswana, a kid in Africa who gets rice can be euphoric. But a billionaire in a Michelin star restaurant in West London, his 3 Michelin star steak comes without the sprinkle of dust or whatever they put on it. He will be visibly pissed off and complain because his expectations of the world and how life should be going go unmet. So one of the ways that you can make sure you're happy, it's not Lamborghinis, it's just like having better expectations, reasonable, realistic ones. And this applies for relationships. If you have healthier expectations of your partner, you will have a better relationship. If you have unreasonable expectations of their perfection when you are flawed yourself, you should expect to have a really miserable relationship. They will never meet the expectation. Expectation is the curse of happiness.
If you want to be happy, don't just have reasonable expectations, though. Limit your expectations. Eliminate the unnecessary expectations. Don't lower your standards, but eliminate any expectation that isn't serving you and is getting in the way of your happiness.
That's right. And an expectation is different from a standard. An expectation is an assumption I have about what you would or should do. And that tends to get us in a whole lot of trouble. A standard, on the other hand, is a value that I have, and I choose to enter into agreements with other people in a way that respects and honors those values.
If she's okay with you cancelling the date because she's got more fucking sides than a buffet plate, stay woke in these streets, big burn.
Can you imagine fumbling a man who literally only went to work, went to the gym, worked on himself, focused only on you as his person, and was trying to actually build a future with you, and you fumbled that man because you thought you could do better, or you got bored, or you thought something was wrong with him? You're going to regret that for the rest of your life. I'm sorry.
So I was just out to eat, and when I was almost done eating, the waiter came over and was like, "Do you want a box for your leftovers?" And I was like, "No, but I'll wrestle you for them."
Men want traditional women, but they're not prepared to be traditional men. You know, taking over countries, bringing over the bones and skulls of her enemies so she can make chalices out of them. It's just not the same anymore.
Acting out because she wants commitment and you're not giving it to her fast enough. She's not acting out because she wants a ring. She's not acting out because she wants the wedding and the marriage. She's not acting at all. That's who she is, and it is who she will remain. Do not marry a woman who does not give you any peace in the house that you're expected to pay most of the bills in.
If you are a man in public, give us some space. If you see a woman, just give us some space. I don't care if you're the nicest man on the planet and you have the best intentions.
I don't know who all these women are, because the vast majority, if not every single woman I've spoken with, wants to be approached in public again, wants to be approached in public again, wants to be approached in public again.
First of all, your mama.
Every man does this at least once before a woman brutally teaches him to never be this loving and this vulnerable ever again.
You know, funny thing, somebody actually did another video on that, and the guy himself was in the picture, actually commented and said that the woman on him. Now that's crazy, bro. That's wicked work right there.
I've been out with guys who I've had a date and I went back to their place, and yeah, maybe I wanted to have them too. Yeah. And we did, and it was just kind of like, like I'm not feeling it anymore. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home, like whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, you are sort of expecting another date, let's say, after that, but then you're kind of off. And then if they didn't call your Uber home, then it's just like, okay, I'm gonna call my Uber. And it's like, okay, bye. It's a weird ending, right? You wanna, if she doesn't want to have with you have to respect that.
I really have to say this publicly and say how much of a flex it is to be married to the person that I'm married to. Like, my wife is really that girl, that woman for real. Like, and my life has elevated so much more because of my wife. And obviously, you know, Proverbs 18:22 says it perfectly. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and finds favor from the Lord. So I get it, because my wife, I got favor for sure. So shout out to God and shout out to my beautiful wife for being that woman, that girl, however y'all be saying it. Real talk.
I often get asked, where are all the good guys? There are no more good guys out there. Good guys don't exist. This is becoming a bit of a theme lately. Now, as a psychotherapist, I can confirm that there are many great guys out there. I've had them sat in my office and I have worked with them. The problem is the great guys, the good, kind, caring, authentic guys,
tend to get caught up in toxic relationships, often with narcissists. So these guys are difficult to track down because they've often been pinned down, and they've been so that they're not able to get out of that relationship and understand and get into a healthy relationship. These guys do exist, but sometimes, ladies, you've just got to be patient.
Listen, your girl haven't been on a date in a minute, but if I do ended up going on a date with somebody, and the questions of, oh, how would you like your man to be, and how would you like to be treated, what is your standard, you know what I'm gonna do? I will show them my DMs. Because you know what? Muhammad from the Middle East want to get me a car. A Corvette? What? Christopher here want to get me a Chanel bag. Like, men's in my DM want to feed me daily. And they in my stories and my posts, liking, loving, supporting. Words of encouragement. Daily. Babe, these men is outdoing you. We gotta step up our games. Babes.
What's the best way to meet a woman in 2026?
So there's 4 main ways that guys use, right? Usually it's dating apps. Dating apps are not really that great for most men because most men don't get good matches unless they have a good profile. If you have a good profile, dating apps are still a good option. The other one is through social media, which is becoming more popular. But again, you have to have a good profile to get anything from that. And then there's cold approach as well, too, which a lot less guys are doing, but there's more opportunities. More women want guys to approach them. However, you got to know how to approach and walk up and talk, and you will experience some rejection. In my opinion, the best way to meet women in 2026 is through friends and through activities that you do where you can see each other repeatedly. Meeting women through your social circle and through friends, you never get a better introduction than that. She already is probably going to trust you. She already thinks that you guys are relatively at the same level. And it's going to be a lot easier to move forward in that scenario.
There's quite literally nothing that aggravates me more than the amount of men that I see on the New York City subway that do not stop to help women at all. I will see women struggling with literally like 60-pound strollers. They have a baby on their arm. I will literally sit there and I'll wait and I'll be like, okay, let's see how long it's going to be. Some man obviously has to see.
Hey guys, So you saw somebody that needed help and you didn't help them? Why didn't you help them? Women are just as capable as men, right? Women say they don't need men in any capacity. Help your sister out. Why are you watching that?
That's the end of the list.
Consistent.
100 men.
Consistent
sex. 100
yes.
men, and there's only 5 things here. 5.
Yep.
Not 100. Across the board, they just want to be peaceful. They just want to be respected. They just want your loyalty.
Yeah.
They want attraction. And they want all the time.
Yeah. Now, I want you to think about something in that list. It goes back to something that the women asked for, to accept them. You said that statement, accept their baggage, right? Notice how we didn't say that you got to be all of this. We accept you for who you are if you're willing to just give these few things. Because if you give me peace, you have peace. If you give me loyalty, you have loyalty. All of the things that they want in there is covered in the 5 things.
One of the most incredible life hacks I can give you as a woman to another woman is that the next time you're speaking to a man and he talks about day trading and finance and like crypto investing, stop losses, gain, all of those like complicated jargon that can really confuse you and give them a false sense of superiority, all you need to ask is, okay, so in the long run, have you gained or lost money? I guarantee you 99% of the time they've all lost money because they don't know what they're doing. All they do is sit in front of 10 charts, try their best to study it, but they are not able to study that well either. And then they play with money, but I promise you, a lot of them have lost money. And it just puts things into perspective very quickly. Like when they're speaking, right, you really start to believe that they're smart because they use big words. But when you ask this question and they answer, it's like the only difference between you and I is that you know the jargon, but you're still losing money. That's all.
Did he say he wanted marriage eventually or marriage with you now? Big differences, ladies. Women
often make the mistake of not taking a man's word at face value. The biggest difference between men and women is that men say what they want and need straightforwardly, while women beat around the bush. We go through the whole alphabet to say what it is we need, but men are pretty much A to B. If you're a woman that craves marriage, make sure he's on the same page with you on the first date, not the 15th. Because what a lot of us women do is get with men that don't want the same things we do because we haven't made sure of that, and then we blame them when things go wrong, when the fact is we just didn't do our homework. You see, from little girls, we live on fairy tale stories. Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, and we take that into our adulthoods. We imagine a fairy tale in our heads instead of looking at reality. Take the rose-colored glasses off and see what's there.
Caucasian women in the United States of America are in big trouble. They are having a very hard time not only getting into a relationship, but keeping a man.
I am no one's top priority. I'm just not. It's a fact. I'm not asking for pity. I'm not woe is me, but it is truly just a fact. I am no one's, call me when you get home, or I joke around and say, I'm looking for someone to text when my plane lands. I'm not that for anybody.
34. I'm single. I have no single friends. I deleted all my dating apps, and I'm the biggest homebody I know.
It's not spoken about enough how hard it is being the other woman that doesn't get chosen and the one that just gets discarded like trash, while the other one gets a changed man and gets a future.
Just went out on a first date with a man who smells like hamster bedding, who said he never reads, he never votes, and he doesn't understand that the world is actually round.
He showed me time and time again, and here I am, just like a waiting to be loved. Like, please let me, pick me, choose me. And I needed reassurance, and I needed him to say the right thing.
Now that women don't have to get married for financial stability, they're marrying men for who they are, and the result is a male loneliness epidemic. I believe it. Nobody's ever asked men to evolve. They have had their position since the beginning of time. Yeah. They're the breadwinners, they're the power, they're the decision maker. Women are the ones who have evolved beyond that, and they have become breadwinners, and they have become the matriarchs, and we have changed as a people. Right. And now it's their turn. Yeah, men can go on and fulfill their potential and do other things. This push by the media to accept a man, whether or not he meets your expectations or your own goals in life, just for the sake of getting married or falling in love, is propaganda. Maybe now girls are sort of coming into their own and realizing that more so than previous generations, because now there are more women in colleges than men. Women are in the workplace. Women are very successful. You no longer need a man for financial stability. You're completely self-sufficient. The propaganda machine wants to undo that so that men can feel better about themselves. The male loneliness epidemic.
What's wrong with chivalry? Like, what's actually wrong with it? I don't understand why people they trying to get rid of chivalry completely. It's a form of, hey, you're a woman and I think you're special. Like, because
it's
you're
romance.
a female.
I'm sorry, it's so romantic.
Yes.
I can't lie to myself and say that I don't enjoy it. Yeah,
on
or
the
to be
first
thought
date
of.
or other dates, if he's paying, please take it. If you want to be dominant and independent, and
if I wanted to be a man, I'd grow a
well, yeah, potentially. Well, we don't want to be a man, but yes.
What I'm saying is, if I wanted to be a man, I grow some balls.
But if you wanted to be a man, you would then do like what I used to do, which is pay for my meals or go on dates and pay for other men. Don't do that, women. You deserve to be treated different because we are different. We do birth babies. We do breastfeed. We also don't breastfeed, but we do other things that men can't.
Yeah.
So allow yourself to be treated in such a way.
Listen.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
You guys, I just can't find a single man that I like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just keep going on these dates and I find myself getting bored. I'm bored on these dates. It's draining. I feel like I have to make the conversation. I have to really make things flow. They're not flowing naturally. And then dating gets draining and then it's just a circle. It's a circle. You know what I mean? Where I just don't know. I think it's the apps, because here's the other thing. People are like, oh my God, you go on so many dates. They're app dates. They don't count. Because in real life, if you're meeting people and then you're saying yes to dates, you already have an idea because you've met them in person if you're interested or not. So already you're light years ahead, okay, of somebody going on a dating app date where you're judging it off of what photos and a few prompts and maybe a little conversation via text. No, it doesn't count. So now in this day and age when you're like, oh my God, why are all these people going on all these dating app dates? Because we don't know these people. They're strangers. They're strangers. This isn't like a date that a guy asked me on that I knew in real life and like already had a little bit of a crush on, okay, that's why people have more luck when they actually date in real life. The problem is everyone's antisocial these days. No one's meeting in person. So if no one's meeting in person, everyone's meeting online. We're all just going on 1,000 dates and not meeting a single person we like. Or at least I'm not meeting a single person I like. And maybe, you know, you could be like, Renee, you're the problem. Maybe I am. But I still want to date a man I like. I'm so sorry.
Okay, this girl posted an amazing video where she was basically like, why have gender role responsibilities for women increased in modern times while they've literally seemed to stay the same or decreased for men? She's so freaking right. She said that her grandpa like literally built a house with his bare hands, okay, for his family, but that her boyfriend like struggled to build IKEA furniture or like mount a picture frame or something. But at the same time, women are now expected to still take care of the home, still be a great mom, be the primary labor, be the primary caregiver, birth the baby, somehow still stay hot, still stay looking good, work a full-time job, while most men are just like regressing. Honestly, if you can't find a guy who can actually add tangible value into your life, I always say it's better to stay single, girls. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Please only enter a relationship that actually benefits you instead of draining your freaking soul out. And I know there are not a lot of men out there who are actually good prospects. So you have to be okay with being alone. Don't settle. If you make your happiness a priority, will eventually attract the same. And a man who truly values your happiness is the only kind of guy you should get with.
With a guy over the weekend on Hinge. He's nice looking, is very pleasant, but it's one of those situations where you both like the prompts, not like the photos, but the prompts. You're like, yes, this sounds like somebody I really like. We match. And then all of a sudden, the conversation never builds. We've exchanged a couple of pleasantries a couple of times, and you know nothing about the person. And so I just stopped responding. Over the course of the week, he has checked in every single day and left me a message like, hey, do you want to exchange numbers? What did you do today? You're me here. Like, he's being really funny about it. And finally, I responded last night. Here's my number. I'm tired. I'm going to bed tonight. It's for tomorrow. First thing this morning, I'm sitting having a cup of coffee at like 6:30 and he texts me, good morning. And I'm like, let's see if this goes anywhere. I say to him, I don't even know what you do for a living. Like, what are you getting ready for in the morning? And he says, oh, I'm a mental health therapist. And I said, oh no, what is Hinge trying to tell me about myself? I'm laughing. Send him a voice note. ChatGPT really said, we can't handle this by ourselves. We need to call in the big. Just making a joke. He never responded. Literally, after 5 days of every day trying to get my number. Anyway, that's what dating's like.
Telling y'all, give a about them. Don't care. This is what they want. When you don't care and you lie to them, they love you more. Thanks. When you real with them and you really trying to hold them down, they don't give a about you. Thanks. I'm telling you. All they telling you to do is to not give a about them, because the dudes that slept with him and gave him the kids was the one that didn't give a about him. The nice guy finished last 100 times out of 100.
But he still finishes.
100 times out of 100. At some point, y'all gonna have to understand that y'all are the ones that's causing the destruction of these families and this culture right now.
So it's not the men that's creating these families and walking.
Every day.
It's not the men that create these families and walking.
Let y'all choose for yourselves. Y'all chose wrong 100 times out of 100.
Per you.
No, y'all did.
Per you.
Better. Why do we have to choose?
Better for what? What do I got to look forward to?
Better for their family, better for their
partner, better for their kids.
Better is worse. Listen, the better I get, the more you don't want me. Y'all don't.
That's a fact. That makes absolutely no sense.
Hello.
He just spewing bullshit.
The reason why y'all don't want these ain't niggas, because if you got a dude that's on something, you got to be on something. But you ain't.
We are.
But you ain't.
We really need to the narrative. I'm so tired of it, honestly. All men are the same. There are no good men out there. I'm so sick of hearing it. It's plenty of good men, plenty. But unfortunately, sis, you haven't had a chance to experience one yet because you're too broken. Yes, you are too broken. Or maybe you don't know your self-worth and your self-love is at an all-time low and you don't know how to choose. You out here choosing anybody that's choosing you. Yes. There's plenty of good men, but you have to heal first. You have to forgive the men that hurt you. You have to forgive yourself for allowing it to happen. And once that process starts, self-love, self-worth at an all-time high. Yes. Now you know how to choose. Yes. Now you can operate with a clean heart instead of a broken heart. Because a lot of us that think that way are broken. There are plenty of good men. And no, they're not standing at the corner. No, you can't catch them in the bar every night getting drunk. Stop looking there. Stop. Plenty of good men. But you have to fix you. You have to heal. You have to want to heal. The narrative. There's plenty of good men.
This generation of men want submissive provider wives. Like, they say they want a traditional submissive woman, but they also expect her to split the mortgage. As a divorce lawyer, I've seen the math on this and it never adds up. We're watching men ask for the emotional labor of the 1950s and a financial partnership of 2025. They want a woman who is quiet, agreeable, soft-spoken, but also one that works full-time, manages the home, raises the children, and somehow still makes them feel like a king when he enters a room. That is not a partnership, that's a contradiction. Because what they're really wanting is someone who makes money but doesn't make any noise, who only speaks when spoken to, who never nags but always nurtures. And if she dares set a boundary or voice a need, suddenly she's too much. This version of modern masculinity is confused. It wants control without responsibility. It wants submission without support. It wants her to carry the weight emotionally, financially, domestically, but not ask where he's been or why his phone is always on do not disturb. This is not about shaming men. It's about calling out the disconnect, because real partnership isn't about domination or submission. It's about mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual growth. You don't get to cherry pick the parts of tradition that benefit you and ignore the parts that require you to show up. So if a man wants to lead, he better know how to carry, not just the bills, but the emotional load, the hard conversations, and the 2 a.m. teething baby. Otherwise, he's not asking for a wife, he's asking for an employee. And if you ask me, no high-value woman is clocking into that job.
Masculine men naturally fall for feminine women. So if you're not all the way feminine, if you're still fighting that, you need to find your feminine energy. And you definitely to create a feminine world, because that's what attracts masculine men. Do you understand? You just bought yourself roses? Wonderful. So if they see you buying yourself roses, they're not going to feel stupid for buying you roses if you buy yourself roses. If they see fresh roses on your counter every week, they're not going to feel stupid buying them. They're going to feel like they're contributing to what you like. They're not going to feel corny or like a simp, because in your world, men and yourself and anybody who deserves to be in your world brings flowers. Do you understand? You're going to start dressing really nice so he can start dressing really nice. Because in your world, people don't wear that crap that he got on. Or they don't wear basketball shorts and t-shirts in your world. They just don't. Right? That doesn't fit the script. You see? So keep yourself dressed up and dressed cute, so that if he wants to be considered part of your world, he has to dress the part. And you'll see him start to try to fit into your world. Remember that. And once you get him in, girl, once you get him into your world, that's when they start to fall. They got to be all the way in your world.
Men have higher standards than women, right? A man will mess with a woman, he will mess with a woman, he'll date a woman, but he won't marry her, right? Because a lot of women ask, well, why you mess with her? Why you got her around if you're not gonna? Because she's not wifey type. He's not gonna stray. He know who his wife is, and he will date around until he meet his wife, right? He's not gonna wife her. A woman will have standards and will accept a man's bare minimum just to say she got a ring. Just to say she got a ring, just to say she married, just to call somebody her husband. She'll accept anything just to say she got a husband. See, they laugh at me because I say I was married for 14 days. They say, why you was married 14 days? Because that man was not my husband. He was a husband, he just wasn't mine. Did I keep the ring? Yes, I did. Beautiful ring. But he was not my husband. We are friends to this day, but he just not my husband. He just not him. And I knew that, so why would I stay in something that I know does not serve me? right? I'm not going to worry. I know who my husband is. And when I meet that man, I will then marry that man. But until I do, I'm just going to have fun just like a man do. I got high standards and I don't worry off my standards. I will date a man. I will have with a man. I will entertain a man. I refuse to get married to a man that is not my husband. Okay? Y'all women will just sit here and just accept the bare minimum because y'all want a ring. Go buy you a ring, honey. $8,000 will get you the ring that you want. But that's just how I feel.
Men do not care if you have kids. I can promise you. So if you are listening and you have kids and you're scared to get a divorce or leave a relationship because you're a mom, get that out of your head. Men do not care.
There are definitely a lot of men who do care if you have kids. I think that Kristen is mostly speaking from her perspective because she makes a decent amount of money. You know, I'm pretty sure she lives somewhere in California, maybe LA. So she doesn't really have to worry about not having enough money to hire a babysitter or not knowing how she's going to be able to afford her rent or really needing a guy for multiple income. And so her perspective with guys that she might be dating is just going to be different from your average woman. I also think it's different when we're talking about casual versus serious because there's a lot of guys who will date a single mom casually, but they might not be ready for the responsibility that comes with having to sort of take on that step parent role. And I know there's going to be some women who say that they wouldn't have to take that on, but the truth is if you like really fall deeply in love with somebody, eventually that probably is going to come with being in a partnership with them, at least most of the time. So men are kind of evaluating that. And it's not just men. There are women who are evaluating that too. There are a lot of women who also won't date single dads if they are child free. So it's just one of those things where it doesn't mean that it's completely hopeless. And if you are open to also dating a single parent, then that might work even better for you. But it is just the truth that every sort of thing that could make you more niche or could add a responsibility to your life probably will make it harder to date in some capacity. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible. It just means that you sort of have to navigate accordingly and understand that there are going to be some people who reject you because of it, but that doesn't mean that you can't find your person at the end of the day. But that is just my personal opinion, so let me know what you guys think. Bye.
Okay, so I need y'all to be but honest. Do I look mean? Or like unapproachable? Because I'm trying to figure it out. I've been going to the gym for 3 years now, and one guy has approached me in the gym. One guy. I can name the situation. One guy. So I'm like, there's gotta be something wrong. Like, why do people not want to like talk to me? And not like in a sappy way, like I'm genuinely curious. Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't know. I'm like literally wearing bright pink right now. Like, is that not approachable? I think it is. Okay. I don't know. Let me know.
This is not because you look mean or you're not wearing a bright enough color. I'm going to tell you the two very honest reasons why men are not approaching you at the gym. And if I know anything about men, I think that most of y'all are going to agree with this. The first very honest reason is that you are attractive, which means that you are higher risk. A man is at higher risk of getting rejected, honestly, if he approaches you. That is why not just giving subtle hints, but being a little bit more forward in your case will be successful. But then there's the very real second reason, which is all location based. You are at the gym, which is where a man finds peace. He is there to work out. He is not necessarily there to look for a date. And one way that he can definitely ruin it for himself is by approaching the wrong woman, get rejected, get so called out and embarrassed, maybe be called a creep, to the point where he can no longer show up at that gym. And then what? He has to find another gym or stop working out, which is going to be terrible for him. That is why I say, ladies, it is so important to remove those barriers, make it very clear that you're interested in that man, and it will go a lot smoother.
I think that modern women have talked a lot, but men have given modern women a lot of leniency. You said a lot of stupid stuff, and men was like, oh, you know what? She don't really mean that. Let's just keep on being gentlemen. Let's just keep on doing what we were raised to do, what we know to do. No, I'm serious. Stop doing that. And you said it so many times that a man is like, well, I was going to be a gentleman about it, but she don't want that. Let me back up. And now that's where we are today. You've said it so many times that men are like, maybe that's what she means. Let me move out the way. And then you come back and say, no, this is what I want. And that's where men get frustrated, because now you're going back and forth and you actually don't know what you want. You're double-minded. And men are like, I'm not your little dog to where you just jerk my chain and go over here, go over there. I don't work for you. I'm not your pet. I'm not none of that.